El Natural with lights. When I was typing doing my chicken pecker test, that sounds really bad. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86 and I'm gonna talk about a keyboard, another budget keyboard. We all like keyboards, we want to know if they're good, and this one had a strange thing happen that I'm gonna cover in this video, hopefully if I don't forget. But for the most part, a pretty standard, pretty solid, pretty nice little other edition keyboard. This is actually 1stPlayer Gaming's Bullet Hunter keyboard, and while that name sounds cool, it also doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Not that this is about the naming of a keyboard, but I mean, it makes me feel like a hunter that woke up in the morning and can't find his bullets, so he's looking through his house trying to find his bullets. Anyways, this keyboard is a floating keycap design. So the keycaps are actually going to sit off the keyboard a little bit. They're not nestled into the bezel. The bezel is one flat metal plate. It all feels really sturdy, really nice, really durable keyboard. And that's something that we've come to kind of expect from all these other keyboards that are coming out on the market. When that sun really came out and just sort of brightened up the room a bit. Clouds don't want to behave today for me. Anyways, these use Otemu blue switches. These are swappable switches too, which we're starting to see a lot more of. First time I saw it was in Red Dragon, and now we're starting to see it in a lot of keyboards that are coming out. They give you the switch removal tool, so you'll take the keycap off, which are double shot injection keycaps. Then you just grab the two prong sides and you push them together to pinch the little plastic things, and that way you can gently kind of wobble the key up. Now they're in there pretty good, so you're going to use a little bit of force to pull it up. The replacements they send you are also Otemu blue switches, but I imagine if you wanted to use these same switches in different key flavor varieties, you can use that. Also, if you're somebody that's not familiar with what blue switches sound like, they all typically sort of sound the same on the spectrum, but every bezel, every chassis on every keyboard kind of offers a different sound. So we've recorded that and you're going to listen to that here, and I am a professional chicken pecker, so that's what you're going to see me doing. Please don't judge. Another thing I really like about this keyboard too is it has 4 set rubber feet on the bottom if you don't want to use the riser feet. And the riser feet are actually really nice quality too. They are the kind of riser feet I want to see in a keyboard. I'd say 1stPlayer Gaming has come a long way doing stuff like this, because the first keyboard I looked at a long time ago, I was not a fan of. From construction, design, everything, I think it looks really good. Another note I'd like to make is they kind of reduced the size of that crazy over-the-top gamer font that's on the letter keys. They've made it a lot more nice and subtle, and I really appreciate that personally. I like the way that looks. Now on the caps keys and tab and all that, it's still a really large kind of font and a little bit over the top to me, but for the most part the keyboard looks great. It has a built-in 18 different modes of lighting, or different types of mode functions, which you can pick different colors from as you go through. So what I mean by that is this is not going to be a tutorial on how to do everything, but just to tell you, there's 18 pretty stock modes on there between insert, delete, home, page up, page down. There's about 3 for each one, or there is 3 for each one. And on some of them, like the wave, if you wanted to change it from its like a sparkly confetti color, you can do that by using the arrow key to swap through and pick a color you like that goes. You can also do assignment keys and set keys to what color you want them to be. This is something that's kind of become expected among most of these manufacturers as well, and a lot of them probably use the same OEMs to design these keyboards, so we should expect to see a lot of similarities between them. There is no UI software for it. It's all plug and play. It's all built into the keyboard itself. When I was typing on it, I typed pretty much, "I'm a professional chicken pecker, don't try this at home," just whatever came to brain. I in no way typed any numbers on there, but when I went and I looked at WordPad, there was like 18 sevens, a 5, 2, a 3, and a semicolon. When I went back through and retyped everything I typed, and then went through and tested every key with caps lock off, caps lock on, shift, all that, I couldn't reproduce it. It only happened one time, but it was a very strange occurrence, and it made me kind of concerned that, will that happen again later? If I'm playing a game, is it going to actuate the wrong key a bunch of times? There was no rapid fire mode or anything like that on. It was just very weird and very random that it did that. That's the only time it did that. It didn't do it before, it hasn't done it since, so maybe it's okay, maybe it was a fluke, maybe just me, I don't know. Very odd thing to happen, but I haven't seen it again. It was a one-time thing as of right now. If it happens again, I'll post down below, pin it, so you can see that, hey, this is maybe a reoccurring problem. I'll definitely be sure and let 1stPlayer know about it as well, because I'm sure they're interested in knowing where it might have a problem that they want to fix. I like the fact that it has a volume wheel. It also has a toggle button, which I've seen on other keyboards too, so you can toggle between volume and light and adjust the brightness of your lighting using the volume wheel, and then hit the button again and swap it right back to adjusting the volume. It's not a super bright backlit keyboard. It gets bright enough. I'm fine with it. I don't think it's too dim at its brightest setting. And just like other modes, if you want to speed them up or slow them down, the higher settings seem to be more fluid. They seem to look better. They seem to just kind of flow a little nicer. The slower some of these LED functions go, especially spread out over all the keys, they start to look a little bit choppy, as you might expect. So if you want to have it a nice fluid looking motion, if you're using things like this rainbow wave, then you might want it on a slightly faster setting, because the slower ones are pretty much uselessly choppy and just don't look good. Guys, well, I'm sure there's a bunch I could cover of function keys and using tilde and setting colors and things like that. You just leave questions down below, because I don't want these to be tutorial videos on how to use them. There's a small book that's included that covers a whole bunch of stuff, and it's very simply done. I definitely recommend taking a look at that. And it'll tell you how to go through all your function key and function tilde and function insert. All that stuff is covered in this little book, and it's definitely worth looking at. So don't just open it up and throw that away because you might want to know. But if you're somebody that's lost that, comment down below. I can reference it for you. I'll take a look at it. I'll post even a thing that tells you what each one does, maybe in the description, unless I forget that I said this in the video, in which case somebody remind me, and then I'll go back and do that. Anyways, guys, have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next video that I do.